Well, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting day for Bitcoin. Bit of a tumble to the downside. Ethereum smacked across the face with a 7% drawdown. Elon Musk decides to say it's time in reference to his old promise regarding Dogecoin, and Dogecoin was like, no, thank you, and it drops nearly 10%. What an absolute wildness. NASDAQ today, absolutely diabolical. And I'm going to break it all down for you. I traded NASDAQ today. I didn't make much. It was just not behaving properly. You know? But what are we talking about tonight? Insiders are selling. And they're going at a pretty quick pace. What we're going to do now is just break down the logic, because you've probably heard about the Hindenburg omen, which says that if the stock market is above or if the majority of stocks are close towards their all-time highs, and there's lots of them, but then you've equally got another set of stocks that are not at their all-time highs, then we could be in a little bit of a problem. Now, this Hindenburg omen, if you've heard about it, it's just giving you the heads up. Doesn't mean that every single time it's going to play out. If you actually look at the statistics of it, it's been right a few times, but nothing to be too concerned about. But you've got too much happening in the AI markets. And in my honest opinion, I actually believe that everyone is just using this as an opportunity to sell. Warren Buffett, or should I say Berkshire and Hathaway, have been selling stock non-stop for the past 12 quarters. I mean, NASDAQ and S&P making significant records, business deals coming out of everyone's backside regarding AI. Why would Berkshire and Hathaway be selling stock? He's even offloaded some more of his Apple shares. Is that a bull market? Or are we actually going to get humbled? And is the idea of overvaluation really coming into play? Because every time the Federal Reserve cuts, the NASDAQ and the S&P have been very close to their all-time highs, which has equally led to continued movement to the upside. A couple of Fed speakers today were humming and ahhing about the interest rates. They started to throw the idea of inflation yet again. Now we're focusing on inflation. Before it was the labor market, but now we don't get any data regarding the labor market. Let's just focus on our 2% goal on the inflation. It's an absolute dog show. I really want the markets to drop. I really do. Because there's nothing, everyone's just caught on edge right now trying to work out, is the market going to drop or not? And those people that are like, oh my God, it probably isn't, they're putting the risk on. And the market is fulfilling that by continuously going up. Let's break it all down, ladies and gentlemen, and just let you guys be this evening. It's been a tricky day. Let's get with the program. So you heard about Amazon and, of course, this story with AI, the Amazon deal. And the actual deal is this. It says Amazon closes at a record high after a $38 billion open AI deal with Amazon Web Services. So $38 billion deal, that's happy days. And it's one of OpenAI's biggest moves away from Microsoft, which was the company's exclusive cloud provider until earlier this year. And it just gives OpenAI the flexibility to scale infrastructure through 2026 and beyond. So again, what are we getting? We're getting services being put to the test. Go into it. You've even got Palantir coming out with some big flavor with Nvidia. And once you put those two heads together, then happy days. You're going to be coming out with some very interesting stories. You got here, where was the Palantir deal? Palantir, where is it? It's not even here, but never mind. There we go. S&P hovered around 6,850. Palantir Technologies, whose stock surged about 385% over the past year amid AI optimism, will report earnings after the closing bell. That's what's going to be happening very shortly, but they've also gone to partnership with Nvidia, so it's going to be interesting to see if they are actually doing relatively well. I'm not received anything just yet. Oh, here we go. Palantir lifts. Here we go. Here it is right there. So here we go. Palantir lifts 2025 sales outlook after posting strong quarterly growth. There's your reason why the market is not going down. And then you got this dude right here. Good old Pete, who's just adamant about Bitcoin going down. He's a bit like me when it comes to XRP. He keeps saying, I mean, he's been going on about it. Some people have called him out. You got this gentleman here, Crypto G, says, you've been saying the same garbage for years, and yet Bitcoin keeps going up. Just zoom out, Peter, and chill. You know you can have both Bitcoin and gold. And Peter goes, Bitcoin has stopped going up. That's my point. That likely means it's starting to just go down. Well, Peter will be a little bit happy today because Bitcoin did take a little bit of a tumble to the downside. For the Platinum members today, we did have the idea of Bitcoin going down. We wanted to see it go down, but what I wanted to see it do first was make a recovery back up. But it's been a very, very short-lived recovery, so it can then try and work its way low. I wanted to see Bitcoin slump to around 105,000 today in the setup, but we didn't quite get the recovery. And this is the thing about the setups when I provide them. I will never give you the precise entry point, but the idea of Bitcoin coming up to come down, that was the logic that I had in my mind today. And we got that, but it was a very, very short-winded retrace. Didn't really do too much. But when you look at the NASDAQ, this is not consistent, you know? Even with the big deal today with Amazon, that NASDAQ should have been going up today. But when you actually look at what's going on in the stock market, it puts things into perspective. Here it's got today, stocks that were up on volume were 355 stocks, but equally stocks that are down on volume was 376. Maybe the stocks that were down on volume has got something to do with this. All right, so it's just been updated, latest insider trading, but let's just look at the top insider trading for the recent week, okay? These are all sales, okay? They are all sales. President, CEO, owner, director, officer, officer, director. They're getting rid of everything, okay? Top 10% owner, right? Sell. And look, Lily, all right? It's a lot of 260 million, 258 million, 135 million, 111 million, okay? And look, Magnetar, the owner's getting rid of quite a few shares right now. Berkshire Hathaway, there you go, getting rid of shares on there as well. You know, so it's getting kind of interesting to see how they're all selling and the stock market and all these deals are coming into play, which tells me that if the market were to actually correct aggressively, then it means that the tech market, if the resilience of guys in tech who believe that the earnings per share in the future is going to be favorable for all the tech stocks, they're going to experience a little bit of drawdown. But when we actually look at what's going on with Nvidia for a second, we'll then understand what's going on in crypto. So if you just look at how Nvidia has been behaving, so you see all of this stuff here, this retrace on Nvidia was around the time, and I said to you guys, it's going to recover this red vector candle. Mark my words, it's going to do it, and it does it every time. Tesla, come back into that red vector candle, it's done it. Microsoft is going to come back into that red vector candle all the way up there. It's come up and recovered all of that. If you didn't do anything about it, never mind, but you've got another vector zone over here that they're more than likely going to come back into, okay? But what I'm trying to say to you is this. If you look at Nvidia on the retrace back down when they had the problems with China saying that we want to stop the Blackwall chip being sold and we want to stop completely any company in China buying off Nvidia, that was your retrace. That just goes to show that there is still optimism and investors are just adamant that with the way Nvidia is going and the way the AI markets are going, that it doesn't matter what happens. It's still going to do well because we are in the era of AI. They are not accepting that this is a bubble. No one's accepting it. People are coming out saying, yeah, we are in a bubble, but people are saying we're not. But the only way that we can truly identify if the market is going to roll, I mean, Cypher Mining, look at that. You know about Cypher Mining, don't we? Big, smacked it on its quarterly earnings, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely ripped it apart. 198% in sales, and earnings are just in triple digits. So it's doing really well, and that's what you call acceleration. That's what you call services that people are consuming. That's what you call people jumping on the bandwagon. This is going to be updating the number of fund owners coming into play with that. So I probably assume it's going to go to about 350 maybe, because that is a lot of volume. Volume is up 172%. And of course, jumps up in price 22% as well. It's doing great, you know, and this is obviously on the back of the idea of Google getting into partnership with these guys. But there you go, crypto mining company on the stock market, doing great. Happy days, you know. Quickly going into Circle, just a quick look at how Circle has behaved today. Not doing too well, but we're going to be getting another partnership coming into play with Circle. They're waiting for that chartered, they're waiting for that authorization for the chartered payment story. That's what they're waiting for. All right. Once they get that, then that just really pretty much puts Circle on the map to offer the stable coins for cross payments and just payments only, which is what the SEC is trying to gun for. Anyways, let's go into Bitcoin and understand what's going on over there. So, Bitcoin. Now, we know that BlackRock has been selling the ETF, not BlackRock, but clients of. And it's, look, you've got a little bit of a mix and match. Inflows today, 5 hours ago, we've just seen $14 going in. And then we had a nice little 136 Bitcoin right there. 2,114 ETH, 241 ETH came in. Another 3,000 ETH came in. Nothing compared to what they've been selling. The outflows still there with the big outflows, man, into Coinbase Prime Deposit itself. So it's not really great for crypto. But when you look at it all, guys, I mean, look, Bitcoin has swept this area here, which is what we needed it to see. I mean, if you really want the truth, Bitcoin does have to scroll down. It does have to roll down towards this area. It has to. It has to clear this area because there's a lot of liquidity. Now, let's just back that logic. Who's prepared to buy it in those areas? Well, okay, then. So, all right, that's decent. All right. So they've withdrawn it from Bitfinex wallet. Okay. Look at this. Someone wants to buy Bitcoin at 105,166 for 31 million. Okay. Go up here. You got 105,388. You got 26 million. What are you doing? What are you doing? Zoom out. So when you look at the way the order flow is going, what would you say it's more skewed towards? Would you say it's more bids? Let's just look at it. Where do you think everyone's expectation is? Type 1 if you think it's buying. Type 2 if you think it's selling. And I'm talking about the retail trader. What do you think the retail trader's trying to do here? Now, by the time you guys type it, oh, here we go. Well, I don't think people realize the alpha flavor being delivered. Adam, mad love to you, bro. Here we go. There you go. So, twos. I'm guessing, yeah. All right. So, look. Let me explain something. When we look at this chart on this channel, we understand that when prices are dropping, retail is selling. Okay? And when prices are rising, retail is buying. If you are new to this channel, please let me get it into your mind. All right? Type 0 if you are new to the channel. Type 0. Give me your zeros. They are selling. Make great hair again. Make hair great again. I made it great. If you are new here, ladies and gentlemen, please type 0 for me. Mad love. Anyways. When you, 58 million, 38 million. Oh, man, it's despicable. You understand this is good news for Bitcoin? Mitch. Zeros. Thank you very much. Tino's always bearish. I know you said just kidding, but for the naysayers and the fact that you think I'm fuddish, don't you understand when I tell you that when it drops, they buy it? Do you need more evidence? Don't listen to me. Look at this. Look, someone today bought, where is it? No, hold on. Where is it? There you go. Where was it? 63 million flipping dollars, and then price went down. Am I bullish or am I bearish? When I say to you, there's someone buying there. Oh, he's bearish again. Come on, man. Get with the program. They buy it when it drops. They sell it when it rises. So why on earth are these people selling? Top owners are selling. Who are they selling to? To Tom, Dick, and Harry, who are having a little coffee, waiting for their kids to finish school and saying, so you seen the stock market's all-time highs? Yeah, man, I bought some shares. If they're selling, right, and the stocks are going up, it's because people are buying it. It's a $17 trillion rally, ladies and gentlemen, that we've got. From the April lows, $17 trillion has gone into the stock market. That is wild. Nearly 50% of the debt of the United States, and that's tapping nearly 40 trillion. My God, what point does it break? But it doesn't seem to matter for anyone else. You want your Bitcoin to go higher, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to get enough people buying it at discount. That's the fact. You need something catastrophic to happen in the marketplace. You need people to lose faith in fiat. Is that losing faith in fiat? Whatever idea you've got of fiat, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to still keep on printing, because the sad truth is this: you all take the piss out of fiat, yet you still welcome the idea of the Federal Reserve cutting the interest rates. How does that make sense? It shouldn't matter if it cut the interest rates or not. You should be like Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. I don't care about fiat. Wall Street does. Your dollar's going to start appreciating soon, and there's going to be some purchasing power. Above 100, then you've got a purchasing power on your dollar. Wonderful. So whether they like fiat or not, they have to accept that it's what makes the markets move, believe it or not. In other words, if NASDAQ goes down, Bitcoin's going down because it's a risk-on asset. What was it? Gate.io, and I think it was Bybit, had put out a paper or something that said that there's too many people now. They're fearing the speculation of risk on with cryptocurrency. People don't trust it anymore. They really don't. And that's where you know that the change is starting to happen. All right? Are people in crypto just saying, you know what, forget it, man. I can't take this anymore. Why isn't Bitcoin going up and the Nasdaq's at all-time highs? Nasdaq has made consecutive records and Bitcoin has made consecutive lows. What's going on? But you have had a great run with Bitcoin. What, from its start? 48,000% up? Come on. You've done well. You got your all-time high. You all got what you wanted. But they need to accumulate more of it. And it needs to go down lower. It needs to drop. It has to drop. Now, I know you're like, I've been buying Bitcoin between 115,000 and 110,000. You're bearish, Tino. It's irrelevant. It really is. Because this same range here is no different to this range right here. Tell me why this range is no different to this range. It's not. Which means that when they've accumulated enough of it, they'll start marking up. All right? When that time is close, then it will get to it. But as long as your dollar's going up, because the expectation of interest rates now could be on pause. All right? They're a little bit more hawkish. Dollar goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Gold going down? I mean, come on. But gold demand is there. I'm saying it now. See these vectors up here on the fourth? Wait a second. You see this red vector candle? I'm saying it this time, and that is it. Gold's coming back to this range. It's going to come back up to its all-time highs. It is going to do it, okay? How long it spends here, it's going to be critical. Because if it then rolls over, it doesn't matter, because it's coming back into this range. You mark my words for it. Because we're in an easing cycle. So it's going to do it. So now's a good time to start buying your gold. Don't buy your missus a gold chain, all right? Go and buy her some bullion. Go and get her a little bar, all right? And say to her, there you go, love. There's your Christmas present. What Christmas present have you had in the past that increases in value? 90% of Christmas presents get used on the first day and get thrown in the bin on the next. Next to the turkey that you had the day after. It's true. Macroeconomics is suggesting that we are going to see gold come back up. We've just had a little bit of a stall in the process. Of course, the Federal Reserve bets, they are coming down a little bit on the idea of a rate cut in December, but we're in the cycle of rate cuts. The reverse repo just smacked up, ladies and gentlemen, so it seems like Wall Street is actually using the government's savings account. But like I said about Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin will come back up to here. It will. And that's not me being hopeful. But do something about it. Because like this red vector candle, when I said it's going to come back to it, it came back up to it. Okay? I hope you did something about it. And then it just dropped back down again. Okay? Too many Wall Street players are influencing the price of Bitcoin. There's not enough accumulation for it to go back up again. I'm sorry to say it. Some of you might challenge the idea. Your 4-year cycles, your rainbow charts. I don't see none of that being discussed. I really don't. No one's talking about it. Now, the new thing is, this whale's bought this whale's bought that, this whale's done this, he's done that. Where's the Treasury story? When's the US government going to make it a strategic reserve? Like, you've had the Genius Bill, you've had the Clarity Bill and all that. Like, the ETF. It's a bit of a sad story. But when it goes down, that's when you look forward to it. Look forward to price going down. It might hurt your balance. What, did you want it to just go meme coin style? Nah, man. It won't. Says the guy wearing a gold chain. I mean, yeah, but I got this gold chain when gold was what, $1,700. I can sell this chain right now and get a nice stack on it. Guys, I've been playing gold and silver for a long time. When I was shouting at you all to buy silver at $19, all right, here's a little fun fact. Go to Costco and buy yourself a bar of silver. Okay, you can go and get them from Costco, right? You're going to pay about £1,400. That's including the VAT. I paid $300. So I went and got quite a bit of it because I could see what was going on. Now you might think I'm full of shit, but it doesn't matter. I know what I did. You know? But there isn't anything that I didn't tell you guys. I did tell you, gold and silver. We had a price projection of 3,000, came through, and that was at $1,700 an ounce on gold. $50 silver, $19 an ounce. You know? The Silver Surfer. My car is irrelevant, man. My car is irrelevant. I'm here to give you my information, my understanding of the last 20 years playing this mad game. Do I look 40 years old? Probably. When I have hair, I look 15. I look like a virgin. What are you talking about? But yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are with everything. Anyways. Intino, we trust. Mad love to you, man. Mad love to you. I love crypto. Bubble Y. There is actual real money and story behind AI. 2008 was only hype and talk if we're comparing these times. To be honest with you, you can't compare 2007, 2008 subprime mortgage crisis to this right now because we're not in a crisis. We've got a debt crisis. But what do they do with debt? They just print more money and there's your problem solved. It's not going to break. They're not going to let it break, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand that? They're not going to let it break. Stop using fiat and go to stable coins. There's your broken system. They're not going to let that happen. There's too much money under people's beds. Do you understand that? They'll never get rid of cash. Never. Tino, you make money today? I did. I didn't really make much. Here's my personal account. I made $658. It was just a tricky day. Very tricky day. And I got smacked on fees as well because I was buying and selling so much. In the end, I was just so frustrated, you know, but didn't really make too much. If you zoom into the screen, you'll see it. But yeah, I didn't really make too much. I mean, my executions today. I was going for it today on NASDAQ and only managed to clear $658. So yeah, bit of a shitty day. But the NASDAQ was behaving weird today. Delta was dropping. Okay, Delta was negative, but NASDAQ was rising. I mean, there wasn't really any volume. And then all of a sudden, they just said, nope. And then it came down. So yeah. How to trade stable coins. You see, the way you trade stable coins is like this. Look at this chart, okay? And what you've got to do is take $1 million, preferably 10 million, just to be safe. And for every wick that you see, just step in, buy it at the wick, and then sell it. I'll give you another asset that you can do this with. Oh my goodness, XRP's gone down. Ah, beautiful. Why does it look like it was in exactly the same spot as it was 8 hours ago? It stresses me out. Oh. Does 350 could be an area of support for Ethereum? Listen, an area of support. Could it? Would it? Maybe. Should it? Who knows? The way you identify support and resistance is the time it spends in those zones. Okay? And you've got to have a little bit of, how can I put it? You've got to have a little bit of an understanding of your asset. Don't look at Bitcoin and be like, oh, it looks like it's doing this. And then, oh, let's go to Solana. No. You've got to find an asset and you've got to sit with it. You've got to babysit. You've got to watch it and understand the difference between how long it takes 1 hour candle to get to one zone to the next. How much time does it spend in a specific range? Let me give you an example here, okay? This is how you identify, and this is a little bit of game for you on moving averages. You look at a moving average, it tells you it's going down, yeah? Okay, cool. So the trend is down, right? But we need a little bit more information than that. So, you see these candlesticks? This is what I'm talking about with conceptualizing the candlestick, because people just look at the hybrid system. Now, if you don't have the hybrid system and you are new, go to the Traders Reality website, go to the homepage, and make sure you follow the steps. Join the Discord, it's free, and then you can download the indicator. Shush, that's when I had hair. No, I didn't have hair. But join the Discord, click that, and then take the advantage of the video and download the indicator. It's all there for you. And then, of course, you want to become a member, then check out the join tab. And if you want to get setups, then you check that out. Platinum or gold, but do the free course. The free course is right here. And that gives you everything you need on the hybrid system, which is what I'm going to be talking to you about now. Is this one with my hair or not? It's the day when I used to have hair and I used to wear that stupid... never mind. So let me just bring it down to you. You look at the 50 EMA and you say, yeah, prices are traded above it. It's come back down. Okay, cool. What do you mean, Tino, when you say to me about how much time do they spend there? And then going into the idea of conceptualizing the candlestick. What are these candlesticks showing you? Well, let's just assume that you were watching from this green vector candle right here. Okay. And you're trying to understand if price is going to find resistances at the moving average. Look at the way the candlestick is behaving. What do you see? In hindsight, we can say, oh, wow, yeah, Tino. But take what I'm telling you and do it in practice, okay? Take the practice of what I'm telling you now and go forward and do it. Because at least you now know what you're looking for. You're trading this, ladies and gentlemen. You're trading the abyss. This is what you trade. I wake up every morning and I put setups out, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what I'm working with. No one has a clue. We don't know, but we can assume based on experience and our understanding of conceptualizing the way that assets move, we can have a good idea of it going in one place or the place that we want it to be. Check this out. You see these wicks? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is the 50 EMA acting as resistance or is it acting as support? What's going on? Look at the candlestick bodies. No real commitment there, is there? You got wicks up, wicks down, buying, selling. There's no real definitive push. Then all of a sudden you see this dude step in. Wow. Yeah, it's on the pump. Can't even get above the previous wick. Finding resistances in the cloud. So what I'm saying to you is this. When you focus on the movement and you look at the way it's representing the idea of commitment and value. Wick up, come down. It doesn't look like people are happy with selling for too long. They're done with it. They want it lower, right? Out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candlesticks, right? One closed with conviction. 2 closed with conviction, 3 closed with conviction, but couldn't quite get above. Dissect the candlestick. These are hour-long. This is the 11-hour-long candlesticks, right? The higher the time frame, the more you can conceptualize what's going on. So let's just do this. We know what's happened, right? So then, before that, run that same dialogue again. What are you seeing? Oh, I'm seeing the blue whatever vector, you know, I've got very small closes, it's wicks up and that. It looks fishy to me. I don't like it. And I've got this stopping volume candle. I'd expect them to try and come back down into the wick. I would expect that, but I'm not seeing the commitment. They're finding the 50 EMA resistance. So if I were to take a short inside of this range right here, I would know I was wrong if they got above the 50 EMA cloud. Okay, I'm going to take the trade. And then, of course, it shits the bed. Now, take that same logic and go into the future and then run that same dialogue. Conceptualize the candlestick. What's it doing? If I were to say to you, sit your family down, okay, and tell them what the candlesticks have been doing. What have they been doing? Right? And then, as the candlestick evolves, you can continue with the story. Does that make sense? Great comment. People, you need to understand that technical analysis is never enough. It only helps understand what's happening in the market. Follow the news, read and analyze what's happening and how it impacts. Very true. I tell you when you never look at the news. When your interest rates are zilch. You can do whatever you want to this marketplace, but if the interest rates are zero, no one cares. They're just going to borrow money and just keep on piling into stocks. Nothing stops it. All right. Now we're going into are we going to get money cheaper again? You know, is it going to be cheap? Oh, well, we've got to pay attention to the news. You've got to pay attention to when Amazon or someone is going to turn around and be like, yep, we're going to buy this. We're going to invest in that. You have to, because it all relies on the AI market. Don't you see the stigma that's being put onto the marketplace right now? And investors in Wall Street are fickle. When I say that, they're like, oh, that's bad news. Get rid. Well, hold on. Yesterday, you were like going crazy for it. I don't care. I care about yield. So when we look at the whole scope of things, does Bitcoin generate a good yield? Unless your strategy and you hold over 700,000 Bitcoin, yeah, you can appreciate there's going to be a yield there, right? But for the average investor who's coming into YouTube, going on to X, trying to find out whether he should buy Bitcoin or not, you start on the interest rate story, because before you start focusing on buying Bitcoin yourself, focus on the people with money that will go out and borrow money to go and buy the Bitcoin. And I'm talking about the big boys. And is it now a time to start borrowing money? Not just yet. The rates are too high still. Okay, then tell me where we are with the interest rates. And when the interest rates come down enough to stimulate the economy, to stimulate hedge fund managers to start putting money and borrowing it, and okay, we can start buying Bitcoin. In the meantime, you get a volatile move up and then it rolls back down, all fueled by news. But I've said this before, Bitcoin is the true representation of speculating. It really is, because NASDAQ and S&P have been making all-time highs on AI. And fundamentally, Bitcoin should be going up, but people are not in it anymore. It's like they don't want to take the risk anymore. We need something solid with crypto to start bringing crypto back up. We need the US government to start buying Bitcoin. Board of Sale are buying Bitcoin. Now he's getting greedy. So you only expect him to buy it. Doesn't matter anymore. You got the ETF balance, which is fluctuating up and down. All right. And it's full of Wall Street participants who are looking for the yield. They're exploiting strategies, hedging strategies in there. Okay. Delta neutral and gamma negatives and what have you. So already that ETF is a violation anyways. It's not the same Bitcoin that you thought it was back in 2021, ladies and gentlemen. It's not anymore. So what you've got to do is you've got to adapt, going back into it. When you look at Bitcoin's price, you say to yourself, caution, the replay bar is what? Is not available. Yes, we don't care about the replay bar. What you've got to look at Bitcoin is and say to yourself is this. Oh, that's the cycle. There you go. What you've got to say is this. All right. It's clear as day that we know it's being manipulated. When I say manipulate, it's not being manipulated, ladies and gentlemen. It's just people in Wall Street got priorities there. It's all for the favor of the holders. You know, as in the shareholders, the people who invest in these funds and want to put the money to work. Well, they've got an obligation to make sure that they generate returns. They don't care about your cycles. They don't care about your mining. They don't care about Satoshi Nakamoto. They don't care about him. For anything, they'll be like, oh, is this another asset we can speculate on? Wonderful. What's the participants like? These guys are absolutely nuts. What, an 80% drawdown in crypto is like normal day's work for them. Happy days. We'll exploit that. Before you know it, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be waiting for another ETF to come out and another ETF to come out. And then Bitcoin's just going to be in the corner as, oh, it was an ETF back in the day. Still is an ETF, but it's just stuck. And you might think I don't like Bitcoin. Of course I like Bitcoin. I flipping love Bitcoin. I got pictures around my house of Bitcoin. You know? I should have ABCs around my walls, but I've got ticker symbols all over the place. And when my daughter's turning around saying, Daddy, what is XYZ? She certainly don't have XRP. That's one thing for sure. She ain't going to be knowing that bloody vocab anyways. What I'm trying to say to you guys is when you understand that when the stock market goes up and then Bitcoin doesn't, you can see that there's a change in the way the markets are operating. All right. Most of you in crypto have not experienced this sort of environment. I remember when people used to say to me, oh, he's never had a bear, he's never been in a bull run before. Well, you're all shitting yourselves now when you see the stock market going up and up and up and up, and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? Why isn't Bitcoin going up? You know? Sat through a bear market? Screw crypto bear markets. Sit through subprime mortgage crisis. That was a nice market to get witness. The only other market outside of that was, of course, the crash of 1990. And then you've also had the crashes back in 1929. Obviously, it went around then. But boy, you know, I've been around the block a little bit. But you guys are witnessing crypto coming to Wall Street. Crypto's knocking on Wall Street's door. Now they've got Bitcoin by the ball and chain. That's why you got to change the way you do things in crypto. Gone are the days of so Bitcoin dominance, altcoin dominance. Nah, it's done. All right? When you've got all your Bitcoin sat in this flipping ETF, okay, you're not getting the full picture now, are you? You're really not. When you've got altcoin season being screamed for on a Monday and then it's over on a Wednesday. BNB smacking it to the upside, going crazy. Like, come on. You've got to adapt. Now, diamond hands, I get it, okay? It's all good with diamond hands. I get that. But that was... A lot of people are going to lose a lot of money, man, if they don't adapt to the way Bitcoin's behaving. You're going to lose a lot. You've got to adapt. Bitcoin's going down. Shit. Interest rates are coming down, though. All right. What's the safest thing that I can do? What does the legacy market do when interest rates go down? We go into gold. Okay, let's go into gold. All right. Because outside of cryptocurrency, and if you're only in cryptocurrency, what are you doing with your money? You're putting it into USDT. There's your limitation already. So how does that make sense? You know? If you're in crypto, now I obviously put the idea in the sense of you've got to pay your taxes and payments on, you know, profits and what have you. Just think of how I'm trying to get you to think is how Wall Street thinks, which is why crypto's not going to be treated the same way in the sense of Bitcoin dominance, altcoin dominance, or, you know, to the moon and all of that stuff, right? Wall Street doesn't look at it like that. It sees Bitcoin can make a big pump to the upside. Okay, cool. Let's get some yield on that. All right. Right, we're done with the yield on there. What else we got to focus on? Well, gold's pulling back down to a significant level right now, but the sentiment of the interest rates now is it's a little bit hawkish. Okay, let's just stop with that. So if it's a little bit hawkish, what does that mean? Well, it means that the Fed might not actually cut the rates. So that's going to impact gold's price in the near future. But there is a massive demand for gold, given that it's had its most demand in the last hundreds of years. Okay, so yeah, we know that there is demand there. Banks are buying gold. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just go park some money in dollar right now because the interest rates on the dollar are going to stay higher possibly for a little while. So that means we can generate a little bit of a yield over there. Okay, cool. 3 months later, dollar hits 102. And then they're like, okay, right, listen, it looks like we're going to get a rate cut in January. Okay, cool. Where are we at? 3.75 or 3.25? Okay, we're getting 3.25. Fuck it. Let's just get out of the dollars now. Sell our dollars. Start smacking it into gold because we had the rate cuts. Awesome. Happy days. Oh no, what's going on? The Japanese want to increase their interest rates. Damn, stock markets are all-time highs. Quickly sell the stocks, get those dollars, sell them back into yen so that we can inflate the yen back up again so we don't have to pay the price of borrowing at 0.5% and they've increased it to 0.75% and that doesn't cost us any money on what we borrowed before and we're preserving ourselves. That whole conversation, guys in crypto will be like, oh, Bitcoin's dropping, I'm going to go into USDT. And it's just pure quiet. Oh, Bitcoin's dropping. Let's go into altcoins. It's different environment now, man. It's different. You've got to be on the ball with it all. I run my mouth too much. Mad love and respect, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tune into you all tomorrow. Peace.